Hey, namaste, beautiful beings. Shakti here. I've been feeling called to make this live for quite some time, and today's the day. So I'm going to be speaking about being true and staying in love in a climate of division. And of course, I'm speaking to, in particular, what's going on around the world at the moment around COVID. But I guess it applies to everything, really. And this message feels really, really important to share. For those of you who might be watching this who don't know me, I'm a priestess of love and sacred sexuality, and I'm based in London in the UK. I'm dedicated to walking the path of love and awakening with a professional focus on Tantra, ecstatic dance, and yoga. Really, for me, it is about living a life that's aligned with spirit and embodying truth and love and letting life and love move through me for the highest good of all. Welcome. And so, yes, this message feels really important to share, and it's been kind of on the tip of my tongue for quite some time. So professionally, I teach Tantra for women and men, actually. That's what I do. I'm a priestess of love. However, I've also been following the course of events over the last few years very, very closely, and have felt moved to take a stand and to speak out and to become involved in that way, rather than just sitting on the sidelines as a neutral observer. That's how life has moved through me. That's how truth and love have moved through me. And, it's unique for each and every one of us. But what I see, and this isn't rocket science, what I see is a lot of division. What I see is a lot of putting people into boxes. What I see is a lot of judgment and name calling. What I see is the stirring up of hatred and oversimplification, so that, even before this, people weren't really very capable of seeing others as souls, as human beings with hearts, but now that's even being accentuated. There's a depersonalization, a dehumanization, really, that's happening in labeling others a certain way, and in that very, very simple headline label, ignoring the full spectrum of the human being opposite you, and the recognition that exactly like you, they have a heart and a soul and a purpose and friends and a family and probably children and so on and so forth. And all of that is lost in this division and oversimplification, because it's become so much about taking a stand in a particular perspective or a particular grouping of facts that are believed to be true. I'm taking a stand as well. So for me, the inquiry, the living inquiry, has been, how do I live in integrity? I'm here to live myself awake, to embody love. That's my life's calling. And to live and speak in truth. How do I do that and keep my heart fully open with all those I interact with, whatever their beliefs, whatever their stance, whatever their position in this whole debate and beyond? And life has given me opportunities to really hone this inquiry. So it's what I'm speaking is not just empty words or spiritual platitudes or pretty sounding ideas and ideals. It's a reality. I don't want to become too personal, because I want to respect people in my life, but family members, very, very close family members, have a completely different belief system to me, don't believe what I believe to be true, including my children, including my sister, right? And so, and that means going along with what is required of you if you're in that particular belief system or narrative, right? And so that means they are doing and saying things that from the perspective that I have doesn't feel aligned, doesn't feel like a healthy choice. So I've been put in that position of choosing how to respond to that and live through what could be, but it never has been, a division. Because what I've discovered is that love is the only and most important thing in these relationships that are so dear to my heart. And at the end of the day, that's all this life is about. It's, can I love? Can I not love? If I cannot love, then let me explore what it is within me that is inhibiting that capacity to love. My children, for example, I love infinitely and unconditionally. My sister, I love infinitely and unconditionally. There are no conditions to the expression of that love through me to her and to my children. So whatever they believe, whatever they choose to do, I am not going to label them. I am not going to judge them. I'm not going to tell them they're stupid. I'm not going to try to control their choices. That is not for me to do. They have their own path. They have their own soul choices. They are walking their own way. So I cannot control that. And the minute I try to control that, actually, I'm not coming from love anymore. And yes, I've had to make peace within myself with concern. I've had to make peace with, it never went deeper than that for me, than concern for the well-being of those that I deeply love and care for. And even that, I have had to surrender up to love, right? And so for me, it is perfectly possible to live cheek by jowl, is that the expression? Intimately, alongside those who have made completely divergent choices, who have completely divergent point of views, and to love and accept them completely, unconditionally, infinitely. It has not changed the nature of this relationship in any way, right? That's possible. All it's required, well, I say all, maybe this is a lot for some people, is for me to do my inner work around the feelings and emotions that arose for me around their choices, right? So that's my responsibility. And having processed, having meditated deeply, having met within my emotions, my feelings, my worry, my concern, I am completely at peace, right? And my own belief, but also this is a message that is coming through to be spoken to all those who need to hear it, is that this is, in a way, what this whole crisis and this whole situation has been about. It's been about our hearts opening, and it still is about our hearts opening to love beyond these created divisions, these manufactured divisions, to recognizing we are all gods and goddesses. We are all aspects of the divine. We are all souls. We are all part of humanity. That's what this awakening is about. It is not about descending into finger pointing, name calling, hatred, judgment, division, right? And it is also about stepping into our sovereignty and our truth and navigating from that inner foundation, the inner anchor of our connection to source, to God, to consciousness, whatever you want to call it, each of us awakening to that inner connection with the divine, with spirit, and living in alignment with that, which means that it's okay to have different points of view. It's okay to move in different ways. We can listen to another with an open heart without reacting and becoming defensive. It's okay. In fact, it's beautiful for there to be so much diversity, right? But the whole point of this experience is for us to recognize the commonality, the fellowship, the brotherhood, the sisterhood, the family, the connection between all of us. So if you're one of these people, and I do have friends and connections where I've seen that this whole situation has created pain and hurt and division and standoffs in relationships, in marriages, in families, I'm here to tell you that you can find a way to navigate being fully in your truth, not hiding it, not shutting yourself down, being fully self-expressed and living in full alignment, and being in love, and keeping the lines of communication and relating open with your family and with your friends and with others. That's what this is about. It's possible. I'm living it. And all that is asked of you is to keep on returning to your own heart, keep on returning to what really matters at the end of the day. When you take away all the thoughts or the beliefs or the doctrines or the facts or the science, when you take all of it away, if you're about to die tomorrow, what's actually important? What really matters? What really matters? And all of that stuff isn't really that important when it comes down to it. The most important question is, how much can I love? How much have I loved? Right? So just go back into the heart. Meditate with yourself. When feelings get stirred, when you feel triggered, when you feel afraid, when you want to control, sit and meditate. Go and dance. Go and walk in nature. Process those feelings. They are for you to take responsibility. They're not anybody else's responsibility or fault. And once you bring yourself back to center, once you bring yourself back to love within, then it's easy to love everybody else. A lot of stuff is being stirred for everybody in the collective right now. It's a very intense time. And it's going to continue to be. So we better get these skills going like now, because we're going to be needed. We are needed now to be able to stand anchoring love and anchoring light and anchoring truth. This is how we're going to create the new earth that is taking the place of the old systems that are crumbling away. So great practice, everybody. Great practice for co-creating heaven on earth, which is what this awakening is all about. So I hope that sharing and that message has touched whoever it needs to touch. And thank you for listening and watching, and sending out so much love to everyone. Namaste.